Hey guys, what's up? I am Nikhil from Dope Motions and welcome to this brand new After Effects tutorial. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to create this electrifying logo animation inside of After Effects using a free plugin called Saber. We will also use number of different assets and learn various different techniques to create this complete logo animation, and by the end of this tutorial you will be able to create your own animation using some really interesting techniques and some easy steps. So with that said, let's jump straight into After Effects and get started. Alright, so here we are in After Effects. Let's start by creating a new composition. Let's go with 1920 by 1080, that is full HD, 30 FPS and 10 seconds long duration. Set the background color to black and let's call this render as a main render comp. Press OK. Then create another new composition. This is going to be our logo placeholder. So let's call this logo. And then you can drag and drop in any logo or text if you want to. I'll use this logo that I have here of Valorant, but I only need the text and don't need the main logo. So I can select the rectangle tool and let's create a mask like so. And then I'll just align this in the center. Perfect. Then let's create another new composition. This is going to be our Saber comp. So I'll call this Saber and press OK and drag the logo composition inside this. Now go into layer and click on auto trace. Leave all the settings at default and click on OK. So there we have created a mask out of our logo. And then I'll select it, go into effects and presets, search for the Saber effect and double click to apply that. Go into the custom core and let's set this to layer mask. Then go right here in the presets and we get number of different presets to choose from. The one that I'll go with is the electric preset, which is the 5th preset I think, or the 6th preset from the top. I think it looks very nice for this particular look. Now make sure the time indicator is at the very start. Set the start size to 0 and the end size to 0 as well, end offset to 0. Then create a keyframe on the start size, start offset, end size and end offset. Press U so we can see all the keyframes. And one more thing that we have to do is delete all the keyframes from the mask. So the easiest way to do this is to select the layer, go right here and search for mask, and then just click on this particular stopwatches, or you can just click and hold and drag it, and it's going to remove all the keyframe from the stopwatch. And then I can select it and press U so we can see just the keyframe that we just created. Then I'll go to 1 second. Let's zoom in a little bit on the timeline and set all the properties to 100. So I'll just copy this 100, Control C and paste it. There we go. Now go to 5 frames and set the end size and end offset to 50. Then I'll go to around 1 second and 15 frames and set the start size and start offset to 0. Then go to 1 second and 20 frames and then set the end size and end offset to 0 as well. Then I'll go to 2 second and 10 frames and bring up the start size and start offset again up to 100. And finally I'll go to 3 seconds and set all the properties to 100. All right, so now if I preview this, we have something which looks like this, quite random, but that is exactly what we want. Let's also animate the glow. So at the very start, I'll set the glow intensity all the way up to 100 and bring down the core size to 0.7. Create a keyframe on the glow intensity, go to 3 seconds and I'll set this to around 50, should be good. Okay, so that is looking quite nice. Now what I'm going to do is duplicate this. So press Ctrl D to duplicate it. Toggle switch and change the blend mode to screen. Let's give it a different color. So I'm going to add a nice color like the Valorant logo that we had. So something like a pink. And then I'm going to move this a few frames forward in time. So maybe let's go with, I don't know, maybe 5 frames. And let's see what we have. We have a nice combination of this reddish pink and blue, which is looking quite cool. Now let's select this, press U. And what I'm going to do is select all the keyframes, hold Alt and drag them like so. So they end together at the same time at 3 seconds. So now if I preview this, we have something like this, which looks pretty damn cool, I think. All right, let's close this. Now let's go back into our project panel and let's create another new composition called this scene and press OK. So in the scene, I'm going to drag the saber composition, go to effects and presets, search for an effect called unsharp mask, apply that. Let's set the radius to around 4 should be good. Yep, so we have this nice sharp saber effect going on, and then add an effect called turbulence displace. Now you can play around with number of different settings and presets here. I'm gonna set this to twist and let's play around with the amount. So I'll increase this really high, maybe something like that. Let's set this to around 250 should be good, and bring down the size like so. So we have a very abstract look. So let's go with something like 50. We have a quite abstract look, as you can see, which looks pretty cool. And then what I'm going to do is go to 10 frames, press Ctrl Shift D to split the layer, then go again 10 frames forward in time, split that again, Ctrl Shift D, do this one more time, Ctrl Shift D, one more time, Ctrl Shift D, one more, Shift D, and one last time at 2 seconds, Ctrl Shift D. All right. Then I'll go right here on the second layer, turn off the turbulence display. So we have a normal animation, then go to third one. And again, we can play around with the turbulent display. So I'll actually bring that down a little bit maybe and increase the size a little bit here. So we have a different look, as you can see. Then let's select the fourth one. And this time I'm going to change the preset to, let's go with something like twist smoother and increase this really high, like so maybe. And also this. So it's quite an abstract effect, to be honest. Select the fifth one and turn this off. Select the sixth one and set the preset to maybe something like a bulge. And let's animate the size. Actually, this time I'm going to also increase the complexity to 2. So we have this really cool look, and let's animate this. So I'll go at the very start and let's animate this basically. So I'll create a keyframe on the size, go at the end, and let's increase this a little bit like so. So we have a little bit of animation, as you can see. And at the end, I'm gonna delete the turbulence displace. We don't need it anymore. So now if I preview this, we have some abstract animations going on, which is really cool, by the way. Now let's go back into our project panel and drag the main logo composition. I can change the color to something different so we can see it more properly. I'll go right here and drag and drop it, maybe somewhere around here. Let's duplicate this, press Ctrl D, place it on the top and change the blending mode to screen. So we have an overlay as well. Now for the logo, I'll add a very simple flicker animation. And to do that, I'll select this, go right here, press T to bring down the opacity and bring that down to 0. Create a keyframe, go 1 frame or 2 frames forward in time, set this to around 50. Go 2 frames forward by pressing page down 2 times, set this to maybe 20. 1, 2, and then let's set this to around 70. Set this to maybe 30. Set this to 100. Set this to maybe 40. And again set this to 100. Then select all the keyframes and press Ctrl and Alt and click on the keyframe to turn them into a hold keyframe. And then now for preview this, we have a nice flicker animation, as you can see. I think I'll also animate the opacity of these saber effects. So I'll select them, press T to bring down the opacity, create a keyframe, go right here and set this to 0. So now we have this nice fade out. Yeah, that is looking quite nice. I think I'll adjust the timing a little bit. So I'll select all the keyframe, hold Alt, and let's bring them closer like so. Yep, that is looking much better, I think. Okay, looking nice. Now it's time to add some nice electric effects on this to make it a bit more complex and make it more dynamic. So here I have some electric animations from Footage Crate. Now if you don't know Footage Crate and you are a motion designer like me, sometimes using ready-made animations and effects can save you a lot of time. Just like the lightning animation we are using here, these are from footagecrate.com. They have over 500 lightning effects and over 80 of them are absolutely free, which you can download right now. And they have a huge library of various different effects that you should definitely check it out by clicking on the first link in the description below. Alright, so the first video or the footage that I want to add is of the spark layer. So I'll drag this right here and maybe I'll place it somewhere around here. So something like this. Also press S to scale that down a little bit. And then I'll click right here, go into columns, stretch, and let's set this to around 60%. So now we have something like this. It also works at a transition, as you can see, from first scene to the second scene, which is really cool, by the way. And then I'll just crop this, so hold Alt and right square bracket. There we go. Then I'll duplicate this, press Ctrl D, move this a bit forward in time like so. And scale this. So I'll unlink this, scale this like that, just to add a bit more randomness, and then scale that down. Maybe add one right here and rotate it a little bit like so. Now to change the color of this, I'll add a simple hue and saturation effect. So double click to add that. And let's set this to something like a nice reddish pink tone, just like our logo. So that is looking nice. So now we have something like this, as you can see. Pretty cool. I'll adjust the position like so. Okay, that is looking nice. Then let's go back into our project panel and let's drag maybe this one on the top. Now all of these footages are 4K and super high resolution, which is nice. So I can easily adjust the size, I think. And then I'll place it maybe somewhere around here so it reflects just like that. And I'll use the same hue and saturation effect, Ctrl C, Ctrl V. Let's change the speed as well to 60%, so it's a bit more fast. As you can see, it looks very nice. Then go back into our project panel and let's use this one. This is one of my favorite. Let's scale that down. Maybe place it somewhere around here. I can turn off the snapping now, and we have this really nice look. And for the last one, I'll use this human arcs that we have here. Really cool, by the way. So let's set this to 60% as well and rotate it by 90 degrees and scale that down a little bit like so. I think we can adjust this manually as well. So I can just stretch this like so, and then add the same hue and saturation effect on this one. So we have something like this, a nice transition basically. Maybe I'll make this around 55. Yep, there we go. This is looking really nice, I think. And finally, I'll add one more to end this up. So this one, the 12th one, I think would look really nice. Also the hue and saturation, make sure you copy and paste it on this one. And let's set this to around 60. Scale this down. Maybe place it somewhere around here. So it adds a nice end to our logo electricity. And there we go. So we have aligned everything properly, I think. Let's preview this. And as you can see, adding this nice electrical footages really enhances the complete look. Really happy with the final outcome. But let's take this one step further with adding some nice depth to the scene. So I'll go to the main render composition and drag the scene comp. Press Ctrl D to duplicate it, and let's call this ref for reflection. And then we can basically press S, unlink this, and let's scale this down like so and bring that down like this, so it acts as a reflection, as you can see. Okay, maybe I'll adjust the position. Oh, let's adjust the scaling a little bit like so. Maybe move this right here, and then select the top one and change this to screen, so we can see the bottom reflection. Looks pretty cool, but as you can see, we get some issues with this, so we need to fix that. That's very easy to do it, not to worry. So all I have to do is select it, and let's select Eclipse tool, and let's create a mask holding control from the center like so. And then I can select the selection tool. Let's select this point, drag it out like this, and then add a mask feather of 100 should be good, or maybe let's go 200. Here I have a floor texture that I will be using. I'll drag and drop it on the top, convert this into a 3D layer, and then press R and rotate it like so, and move this just like that. We can scale that down if we want to, maybe something like that. And then press Ctrl Shift C to pre-compose it, call this floor, and move all attributes, press OK. We can hide this. Let's create a new adjustment layer. Make sure it's on the top of the reflection composition. Let's call this blur. Go into effects and presets, search for compound blur. Double click to apply that, and right here in the blur layer I'll select the floor that we just created and set this to effects and mask. Then as I increase the maximum blur, you can see we get this nice reflective floor, which is exactly what I want here. So it enhances the complete look. So you can play around with the settings. So I'll keep it somewhere around here, I think. And I can go into the floor and I can rotate it if I want to. So I think I'll rotate it a bit more and place it just like so. Go back into our main render comp. We have this nice reflective floor, which is looking quite nice, I think, with this nice reflection. Also on the reflection composition, I'll add a directional blur. So I'll add a directional blur like that. Let's increase the blur length, and then probably I'll bring down the opacity a little bit down like so. I don't know, let's see. Yep, that is looking much better, I think. Yeah, so there we have a nice reflective floor. We have added this nice depth into our scene. So here the floor ends, which adds a very weird line to our background. So to fix this, I'll go to the floor composition and add a really simple effect called CC Reptile. Double click to apply that, and expand the expand up just like so, really high. That should fix the issue, I think. Yep, there we go. And then right click, create a new adjustment layer, do some quick color corrections here. So I'll call this CC for color. So I'll call this CC for color correction. Go into effects and presets, add a curves adjustment really quick to enhance the overall look like so. And also I will be adding some noise just so we don't get any kind of color bendings here. Make sure to place the noise on the top, and let's set this to around 3% should be good. Also switch to 16 bits, hold Alt and click on the small button. That would really enhance the complete colors and help us to avoid any kind of color bendings due to the glows that we are using. So this is looking really nice, I think. And finally, I'll add a new adjustment layer. Again, let's add some movement to this. So I'll add a transform effect. Go into effects and presets, search for transform. Double click to apply that. Go at the very start. Let's create a keyframe on the scale. Go to, I don't know, maybe 7 seconds. And let's set this to 110. It adds a nice movement, as you can see. So that is looking very nice, I think. And finally, this is optional, absolutely optional. What we have to do is, what we can do is select the scene, go into effects and presets and add a deep glow. In case if you have the plugin, it would be super awesome to add it. In case if you don't, you can just use the normal glows. So with deep glow, basically you can really enhance the complete look, I think. So a little bit of glow like that with a lot of radius. So this adds a really intense glows and looks very dynamic. So let's animate it. So I'll go right here, create a keyframe on the exposure, go right over here and bring that down like so. So we have this final electrifying logo animation ready to roll. So that is a wrap for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're watching my video for the very first time. And I have a complete playlist on how to create some complex logo animations, so make sure to check it out. Link is in the iCard and in the description and in the end screen as well. You can also follow me on Instagram at dope.motions. We are about to reach 400,000 followers on Instagram, which is a huge milestone, I think. So make sure to follow me there. Link is in the description. And with that said, I will see you guys in the next video. Till then, take care and always stay raw, stay creative. Peace out.